Skin histology and disorders test to help students pass the state board written exam for cosmetology, esthetician, barber, and manicuring licenses. 1. Study of the skin, its functions, diseases, and disorders, and their treatments is called A. Cosmetology, B. Dermatology, C. Histology, D. Myology. 2. The largest organ of the body that protects the internal organs, regulates the body temperature, secretes and excretes oil and sweat is A. Kidneys, B. Bones, C. Muscles, D. Skin. 3. An acidic covering of the skin that protects it from bacterial invasion is called A. Cover mantle, B. Skin mantle, C. Acid mantle, D. Answer B. 4. The skin is thickest on soles of the feet and thinnest on the A. Chin, B. Palms, C. Eyelids, D. Arms. 5. Appendages of the skin that belong to the skin are A. Hair, B. Nails, C. Oil and sweat glands, D. All of the above. 6. Skin contains the following subdivisions: A. Epidermis, B. Dermis, C. Subcutaneous tissue, D. All of the above. 7. Epidermis, also called the cuticle layer or scarf skin, is 25 times thicker than A. Dermis, B. Oil glands, C. Hair follicle, D. Subcutis. 8. The outer layer of epidermis, called horny layer, that contains dead cells that are constantly shed and replaced is called A. Papillary layer, B. Stratum corneum, C. Reticular layer, D. Dermis. 9. The layer of epidermis that is made of translucent cells that allow the light to pass through is called A. Stratum lucidum, B. albinism, C. Light layer, D. Papillary layer. The layer of epidermis beneath stratum lucidum and above stratum spinosum that contains cells that look like granules is called A. Subcutaneous, B. Dermis, C. Stratum granulosum, D. Stratum corneum. 11. The deepest layer of the epidermis responsible for the growth of epidermis that contains melanin is called A. Stratum germinativum, B. corneum, C. lucidum, D. Stratum spinosum. 12. Dermis, the layer beneath epidermis, is also called true skin and A. cutis, B. corium, C. derma, D. all of the above. 13. Papillary and reticular layers are the two layers of A. Epidermis, B. Dermis, C. Subcutaneous tissue, D. Stratum corneum. 14. Which layer of the skin has nerve endings that react to heat, pain, and touch? A. Epidermis, B. Dermis, C. Fatty tissue, D. None of the above. 15. Papillary layer of the dermis contains melanin and papillae, a cone-shaped hair-like projections, looped capillaries, and tactile corpuscles which have nerve endings that react to sense of touch. A. True, B. False. 16. Reticular layer is the second layer of the dermis that supplies nutrients and oxygen to the skin and contains A. Hair follicles and arrector pili muscles, B. Blood and lymph vessels, C. Sweat and oil glands and fat cells, D. All of the above. The fatty layer underneath the dermis, also called adipose or subcutis tissue, that provides a protective cushion to the skin is A. Epidermis, B. True skin, C. Subcutaneous tissue, D. Stratum lucidum. 18. Nerves that recognize the heat, pain, cold, touch, and pressure to the skin are called A. Sensory nerve fibers, B. Secretory nerves, C. Motor nerves, D. Arrector nerves. 19. Nerves of the skin that regulate the oil and sweat production are A. Sensory nerve fibers, B. Secretory nerve fibers, C. Motor nerves, D. Arrector nerves. 20. What is responsible for skin color? A. Protein, B. Cystine, C. Melanin, D. Keratin. Pheomelanin is responsible for red and yellow coloring of the skin and hair. Eumelanin is responsible for A. Dark brown and black color, B. Orange and red color, C. Gray and black color, D. Blue and gray color. 22. What are responsible for skin elasticity, form, strength, and flexibility? A. Collagen and elastin, B. Axon and dendrites, C. Sweat and oil glands, D. All of the above. 23. Sebaceous glands are also called A. Sweat glands, B. Sudoriferous glands, C. Oil glands, D. Acne glands. 24. Sudoriferous glands are responsible for production of A. Oils, B. Milia, C. Sebum, D. Sweat. 25. Dehydration slows down body metabolism by A. 3%, B. 30%, C. 100%, D. 1%. 26. Unprotected skin that is exposed to the sun will result in A. Loss of collagen and elastin fibers that will cause wrinkles, B. Skin cancer, C. Skin discoloration and freckles, D. All of the above. 27. Deep penetrating rays, also called aging rays that cause wrinkles and sagging to the skin, are A. UVA rays, B. Broad spectrum rays, C. Red rays, D. Blue rays. 28. In order to protect the skin from the sun, you need to A. Wear sunblock, B. Wear protective clothing and a hat, C. Stay away from the sun between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., D. All of the above. Bulla is a blister that contains A. Red spots, B. White spots, C. Fluid, D. Crusts. 30. Cyst is a semi-fluid abnormal formation above and below the skin that contains A. Dirt, B. Pus and abnormal matter, C. Scars, D. Red-colored liquid. 32. Pustule is an inflamed pimple that contains A. Pus, B. Crust, C. Scales, D. None of the above. 33. A mass containing abnormal cells varying in size is called A. Bulla, B. Scale, C. Tumor, D. Crust. 34. An itchy blister that is caused by an insect bite or a sting, which lasts only a few hours, is A. Cyst, B. Tumor, C. Freckle, D. Wheal. 35. Fissure is a crack in the skin, like A. Chapped lips, B. Scar tissue, C. Scaly lines, D. Papule. 36. Excoriation is a result of scratching or A. Scraping, B. Chemical burns, C. Scissor cuts, D. Insect bite. 37. Crust is made of dead cells that surround the wound during the healing process, like A. Freckle, B. Scab, C. Fissure, D. None of the above. 38. A thick scar from excessive growth of fibrous tissue is A. Mastoid, B. Keloid, C. Scrape, D. Crust. 39. A light-colored mark that is formed after the injury has been healed is A. Scar, B. Crust, C. Excoriation, D. Flakes. 40. A small formation of sebum at the pore of the hair follicle that does not have any visible opening to the skin is A. Milia or whitehead, B. Comedone, C. Blackhead, D. Cyst. Blackheads are formed when the sebum covering the pores of the hair follicles are filled with oil and dirt. They are also called A. Milia, B. Comedones, C. Dirty pores, D. Cysts. 42. A fatty cyst filled with sebum varying in size could be small as a pea and as large as an orange is A. A whitehead, B. Comedone, C. Steatoma, D. Milia. 43. Chronic inflammatory condition of sebaceous glands characterized with a bacterium known as Propionibacterium abundant on face and chest is called A. Milia, B. Comedones, C. Steatoma, D. Acne. 44. A skin condition that is characterized with dry or oily scaling or crusting and itching, most abundant around the eyebrows, in the scalp and hairline, middle of the forehead, and the sides of the nose, is called A. Chloasma, B. Seborrheic dermatitis, C. Systemic dermatitis, D. Abnormal dermatitis. 45. A chronic inflammatory condition of the cheeks and nose, characterized by redness and dilated capillaries, is A. Rosacea, B. Hypertrichosis, C. Lunula, D. Leukoderma. 46. Osteotosis is dry skin and very little production of sebum. A. True, B. False. 47. Excessive perspiration is called A. Osteotosis, B. Anhidrosis, C. Chloasma, D. Hyperhidrosis. 48. Lack of perspiration is called A. Anhidrosis, B. Hyperhidrosis, C. Bromidrosis, D. Melanoma. 49. Foul-smelling perspiration is called A. Chloasma, B. Steatoma, C. Bromidrosis, D. Anhidrosis. 50. Prickly heat that is characterized with small red vesicles that burn and itch, like diaper rash or the rash on the back of the neck that erupts after clipper cuts, is called A. Bulla, B. Miliaria rubra, C. Sebaceous disorder, D. Vitiligo. 51. Skin inflammation characterized with many forms of dry and moist lesions that cause itching or burning sensations is called A. Psoriasis, B. Chloasma, C. Cyst, D. Epidermis. 52. Congenital deficiency of the melanin pigment characterized by pinkish white skin, white hair, pink eyes, and sensitivity to the light and UV rays is A. Albinism, B. Hyperhidrosis, C. Leukonychia, D. Epidermis. 53. Congenital abnormal white patch on the skin is called A. Lunula, B. Leukonychia, C. Leukoderma, D. None of the above. 54. An acquired condition of white patches on the skin, a melanin deficiency in patches, is called A. Vitiligo, B. Keratoma, C. Melanoma, D. Macule. 55. Chloasma is hyperpigmentation, dark spots on the skin due to the sun exposure and aging skin, mostly found on forehead, nose, cheeks, and arms, like moth patches and liver spots. A. True, B. False. 56. Birthmark is an abnormal pigmentation of skin and dilated capillaries, also called A. Tubercle, B. Pustule, C. Albinism, D. Nevus. 57. Hypertrophies, overgrowth of the skin, are A. Keratoma, a callus, B. Mole or skin tag, C. Verruca, wart, D. All of the above. 58. Overexposure to sun rays can lead to A. Skin cancer, B. Keratoma, C. Verruca, D. Overgrowth of epidermis. The most common type of skin cancer characterized by light or pearly nodules is A. Basal cell carcinoma, B. Melanoma, C. Hypertrophy, D. None of the above. 60. Squamous cell carcinoma and malignant melanoma are two types of A. Acneic skin, B. Oily skin, C. Skin cancer, D. Thickening of the skin. Answers for the test: 1. B, 2. D, 3. C, 4. C, 5. D, 6. D, 7. A, 8. B, 9. A, 10. C, 11. A, 12. D, 13. B, 14. B, 15. A, 16. D, 17. C, 18. A, 19. B, 20. C, 21. A, 22. A, 23. C, 24. D, 25. A, 26. D, 27. A, 28. D, 29. C, 30. B, 31. C, 32. A, 33. C, 34. D, 35. A, 36. A, 37. B, 38. B, 39. A, 40. A, 41. B, 42. C, 43. D, 44. B, 45. A, 46. A, 47. D, 48. A, 49. C, 50. B, 51. A, 52. A, 53. C, 54. A, 55. A, 56. D, 57. D, 58. A, 59. A, 60. C.